welcome to this week's episode of Mompreneur Tube. I'm really excited about this interview today because today we have Jessica Kohn with us, and she is the owner of Special OM-cations. Now, I'm not going to tell you anything about that. I'm going to let Jessica explain all that. But Jessica is a mom of two beautiful girls. So thank you, Jessica, for joining me today on Mompreneur Tube.
Thank you for coming to my home for this.
I know, this is awesome. I haven't done an interview yet in somebody's home, so I love the whole atmosphere and what you have to offer today. So thank you.
Thank you.
So let's tell us what is Special OM-cations.
Sure. It's Special OM-cations.
Oh,
just
sorry.
OM, that's okay. So the OM is the yoga. Almost it's a chant or a mantra that we have in yoga, and I liked how it kind of fit in with occasions because my business model is about bringing yoga to you. So for a birthday party or a girls' night out, taking yoga out of the studio and bring it to your occasion.
So that business model obviously is unique. So let's back up a little bit.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about how did you even become involved in yoga? Because I know you didn't start out in yoga.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your journey that way.
Sure.
As to, what interested you, what piqued you? How did you come up with yoga?
Sure. Well, I started doing yoga over 25 years ago. For health reasons. I was looking for relief from headaches and just stress, and yoga was one of those things that really spoke to me. So that started me on my yoga journey, and I always had it incorporated into my life when I would be, working full time or I was working two part-time jobs for a while. When my husband and I first met and dating, yoga's always been there with me. Something that I've just always enjoyed doing. It's a just for me makes me feel like a stable person and a sane person.
Yeah.
Especially when things get a little hectic. And when my first daughter was born, I made the decision not to go back to the corporate world, to stay home with her, and enjoyed every minute of it. It was wonderful. And then when my second daughter came along too, it was just, we just kind of went with the flow of our home life at that point. But when I was pregnant with my second daughter, I really started incorporating a lot more yoga. So rather than once or twice a week, it became a daily practice.
Wow.
Through the pregnancy and after the pregnancy. And when she was ready to start kindergarten, I kind of took a look at my life and said, well, I need to do something to contribute once again in a different way. Obviously, I'm contributing to my family, but what else can I do? And how can I show my children that I'm more than just mom? That I have something outside of the family that, that I can contribute to. And so I was sitting in the car one day and just trying to talk myself into what is it that I want to do? If I could do one thing every day for the rest of my life, what would it be? That's the question I asked myself, and the answer was obviously yoga. So I sought out a teacher training, which just happened to move into the Sheboygan area shortly after I made that decision, and just kind of rolling with yoga and the mom thing, and really
awesome.
enjoying the journey so far.
Do you know, there's a couple things that really stick out for me there is that you always did something for yourself. Even when you were pregnant, that it wasn't, you had another child, it wasn't an excuse. You always did something for yourself, which I think many moms neglect themselves.
Absolutely.
In that.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I love the other piece too, where that question that you asked yourself, if I could do anything for the rest of my life, what would that be? What a powerful question. That is really great. So can you talk a little bit about how you came up with this business model? Because when we think of yoga, we really think of the whole studio and going to classes there in a studio, or somebody having their own studio as their business model.
Absolutely.
So talk a little bit about this business model, because I really think it's unique. And obviously the expense that
Right.
that you are saving by not having a studio
Exactly.
is great as well.
Exactly. And I think having a yoga studio, there's definitely a benefit because people know where to find you. But the drawback for me was that it would take time away, and I would lose a lot of the flexibility of my family life. So that was it took a few months of just kind of rolling ideas around in my head on how I wanted to do this. And there's a need out there, or a desire for people to have yoga in their environment where they're comfortable, or to have an event for their teenage girls to get together to do something that's healthy and fun, and that will benefit them in their in the dealing with peer pressure and things that teenage girls and teenage boys also have to deal with. So there's a need out there to have yoga out of the studio, and I wanted to find that market and bring yoga to you rather than have you come to yoga.
I really love that. So you do, as you kind of talked about, birthday parties, wedding, or
absolutely,
bridal
yes,
parties,
bridal showers.
Bridal showers. You go into businesses
Yes.
if they're looking for something. I love that.
Yes,
I really,
thank
really
you.
love
And
that.
then people who, it's a challenge for them to physically leave their home and go to a studio because they have an illness. So that's another need out there where people really do want yoga to come to them.
Oh, very cool, very cool. So you have that corporate experience, and now you have that mompreneur experience. So you know what both is like. You didn't necessarily have kids when you were in the corporate world, but I think you probably can imagine, because I'm sure you have friends that are living that lifestyle. Tell us, do you find like the most rewarding experience that you have now that you're a mompreneur and not in that corporate setting?
Yeah, and flexibility, which is kind of a funny yoga joke. But there's definitely a flexibility as far as being able to go in. I was able to go into my daughter's elementary school and teach yoga to the whole school.
Oh, wow.
So the flexibility of having that time free during the day to do that, to be able to go on the kids' field trips as a chaperone, and just to have the flexibility and the comfort for them knowing that mom is there if they're sick, or if they need to come home for any reason, or I'll be there to pick them up every day. And
you don't have to ask a boss off to do any of that.
Exactly. It's
I love that. That's great.
To really work my schedule around my family.
So you're kind of alluding to my next question of the whole mom schedule. So, a lot of times, again, I say this numerous times in many interviews, we think of balance being completely equal, and my philosophy is really embracing an imperfect balance, because it's an ebb and flow type of balance. How do you juggle, being able to pick the kids up, doing the field trip thing, the kids' activities, and running a successful business?
I found it to be pretty easy flowing for me, and I don't know if that's my personality, is just to kind of go with the flow a little bit, but I really, and having a yoga practice, helps to relieve the stress. So when you do have that, taking that time for yourself, which you mentioned earlier, taking time for yourself can make those stressful moments in life seem a little less overbearing and overwhelming. I get that. You know what I mean? Just totally makes sense to me. Let's talk just a little bit about a biggest challenge that perhaps you had, because starting a business from scratch isn't an easy task by any means. And I really want to keep the journey real here for moms, that I don't want to paint a picture that every single business that moms have started is been just all peaches and cream, because it really isn't that. So can you share a challenge that you have had or faced, or perhaps are facing, and what do you do to overcome it? I have actually, I feel like I've kind of hit a wall a little bit in in not having a brick and mortar location for people to find me, I feel like there's just, I've kind of hit a wall as far as how to get my name and my business out there so that more people will be able to access it. And that's something that I've been working to overcome, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to make it, you know, around that wall or over the wall. So that is a struggle, is how do you get your name out there, you know,
Sure.
marketing and
Absolutely.
and just making your what you have to offer available, and how people can find you.
And I don't sense from you that you're going to let this wall stop you.
I don't plan to, no.
Do you know what I mean? So I think a lot of moms sometimes, when they're like even in that startup phase, they hit that wall and boom, they want to kick back and be like, yep, this isn't working. So I know following this video, you're going to do a meditation, a separate meditation that's going to talk, well, maybe I should say that for the next video, but that whole process of when you're faced with a wall, just not to quit, not to quit.
Right. The only time we fail is when we stop trying. So.
Exactly. Jessica, I've really enjoyed this interview today. I've learned a ton from you just in this conversation and the previous conversation that we've had. If somebody wants to take advantage of your services and contact you and bring yoga to them, whether it is for some kind of event or in their business or in their home, how can they go about contacting you?
Right. I'm very easy to find on Facebook. You can either look up for Jessica Kohn, Kohn, or find me at Special OM-cations. I believe it's the only Special OM-cations out there. So hopefully it'll direct you right to me. And my cell phone number is 920-980-5214.
Well, thank you again for joining us.
You.
And by the way, we did not coordinate our colors today. It just, was destiny that we're going to match. If you would like to be interviewed on Mompreneur Tube, or even if you know somebody, that's kind of how I found Jessica. If you know somebody that would be a great fit for Mompreneur Tube, please have them message me on Facebook, either my personal page, which is Michelle Shutter, or my Mompreneur page, which is also Michelle Shutter. So either way, you can find me there. And my vision for all of you moms is to release your mompreneur spirit so that you can fulfill the purpose in your heart, just like Jessica is doing. Take care, and we'll see you next time.